everyone, it's Maki here. The GUNDAM Conference has finally been announced. To celebrate the 50th anniversary of the first broadcast of the TV anime, a lot of exciting information was announced. Yesterday, I discussed a new promotional video for Seed Freedom Zero. Today, I'd like to focus on topics related to animated works and video productions. The special video released for the anniversary was also incredibly impressive. I'd like to talk about it in more detail another day. For now, I want to focus specifically on the video projects that will be released in the form of anime series and films. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider joining the membership scheme for just 99 cents per month. As a thank you, you'll receive a name badge and comment stamps. Now then, let's begin the analysis. First, let's talk about the original 0079. This is often referred to as First Gundam. It is perhaps fair to call it the ancestor of all the other Gundam stories, created by Mr. Yoshiyuki Tomino. A remaster of this story has been announced. The original 0079 is an iconic work in the Gundam series, but it is also an important work in animation culture as a whole. Tomino's directing techniques have become a kind of textbook for many creators. Now, it has been announced that this story will be remastered. We still have no idea what form it will take. Some fans are predicting that new footage will be created using modern technology. Realistically, I think the word remaster may mean improving the resolution and other aspects of the original footage and adjusting it to a format suitable for modern video equipment. It's quite common for older animations to be released in higher resolution. However, I also find the idea of a reverse through new footage extremely appealing. The way editing of Zeta Gundam as theatrical anime films would probably set a precedent. New footage that still carries the atmosphere of the original can be absolutely wonderful. However, Tomino said that the Zeta Gundam movies ended up requiring far more funding than the initial project plan had allowed for. Personally, I would love to see the original 0079 brought back to life with new footage that respects the original's atmosphere. Realistically, however, I predict that the remaster with higher resolution and screen size adjustment is probably more likely. What do you think? However, Mr. Naohiro Ogata made an interesting comment. He described this project as Oiwo no Oshi. This is a term used in Japanese culture. It is mainly used at events such as weddings. It refers to the bride or groom changing clothes during the ceremony. This act symbolizes the beginning of a new life. There is a precedent for this in the Gundam series, specifically Gundam Wing. When the Endless World story was created, the Gundam designs were changed. The designer, Hajime Kotoki, said that they were designed with the idea that they are the same beings in terms of the setting, but it is like actors changing costumes. The redesign of the mobile suits in Gundam Wing is an example of Oiwo no Oshi. We may therefore need to carefully consider the meaning of the term Oiwo no Oshi as used by Ogata. Next, let's talk about Gundam Wing. It has been announced that new footage is being produced for the series. This will probably be incredibly exciting news for fans. The host then asked the question on everyone's lips. What exactly does new footage mean? Whether it's 10 seconds long, a 2-hour film or 50-episode TV series, it would all still fall under the category of new footage. That is definitely true. The promotional video released previously was also technically new footage. While it was fantastic, its purpose was ultimately to celebrate the 30th anniversary. In response, Ogata said we are working on something big. He also said we can't reveal the details yet, but it's something that everyone can look forward to. This information is incredibly intriguing. After that comment, the discussion shifted towards the popularity of Gundam Wing outside Japan. Many English-speaking audiences would probably say that Gundam Wing was the first Gundam series they ever watched. It sounds like they are creating a story that will really excite those fans as well. Among Japanese fans, many are predicting that Frozen Teardrop will finally be adapted for animation. And honestly, that makes sense. After all, it is the official sequel to Gundam Wing. Its characters even appeared in the 30th anniversary video. However, Frozen Teardrop is not especially well known, even in Japan. As the story only exists as a novel, many people simply do not know about it. It is well known among dedicated fans, but more casual fans are much less familiar with it. If the creators want to make something that people who have never heard of the story before can also enjoy, then perhaps it could be something entirely new. Personally, I would love to see the Gundam Epion Poly piloted by Faye. I'm very eager to hear more updates on this announcement. Finally, let's discuss the live-action Gundam film. Comments from the director Mr. Jim Miko have been revealed. He mentioned that filming has already begun on the Gold Coast in Australia. Among his comments, one was particularly interesting. The battleships and mobile suits that everyone knows will appear. There will also be things making a first appearance in this story. That is what he said. Many fans are wondering what kind of world this Gundam movie is based on. There has still not been an official announcement regarding this. Will it take place in a world created exclusively for the film? Or will it be set within an existing universe, such as Universal Century? Miko's comments may provide a clue as to the answer. He confirmed that the mobile suits we already know will appear. Does this mean that it really is Universal Century, where Zoku and Dam exist? However, as I mentioned earlier, it is also true that for many English-speaking fans, Gundam Wing was their first Gundam and remains extremely popular. Therefore, there is also the possibility that it could be set in the world of the After Colony timeline from Gundam Wing. Personally, I would love to see the Togis brought to life through live-action computer graphics rather than animation. Of course, the mere appearance of familiar battleships and mobile suits does not necessarily mean that it will be set within an existing Gundam world. For example, see Destiny is set in a different world to Universal Century, yet Zoku and Dom still appear. It is also possible that familiar mobile suits have simply been invited into a world created by Miko himself. Many fans are probably concerned about live-action adaptations. G-Saber, for example, was not commercially successful. However, I personally feel that G-Saber had a proper understanding of the Universal Century world at the heart of its story. I believe that the world and story created by Miko can also become another wonderful addition to the Gundam series. I plan to continue supporting it. These are the latest news updates regarding our upcoming video projects. While all of the information is still in the early stages, every announcement sparked a lot of excitement. Was there any news that caught your attention in particular? Incidentally, this is completely unrelated to Gundam, but Star Wars The Mandalorian will also be released very soon here in Japan, where I live. I love the Star Wars series too. I already plan to secure my ticket and make sure to see it on opening day. Although Star Wars and Gundam are stories from completely different worlds, there is a small connection between them. Star Wars fans may already be aware of this, but it's been said that the team working on Episode 3 studied battle scenes from various other works of art. Among the footage they studied was Shah's counterattack. I'm really curious to know which scenes may have inspired them. Could it have been the scene in which the Sozobi swings its arms around while spinning its beam saber and beam tomahawk? This kind of action sequence is something that only a mobile suit as a machine could perform. Perhaps General Grievous was influenced by the Sozobi, even if only slightly. I'm really looking forward to the Mandalorian as well. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you again in the next episode.